Hi and welcome to Watch the Time and my unboxing of a new watch that I have got recently, and it's a Seiko reference SRPC11K1, and I think this is nicknamed the UFO, and it's part of the Seiko Recraft series. So I'm just going to, without further ado, quickly get into the box. The black monster is there for a reason, and it's because I'm just going to do a size comparison, and there is a link between these two watches, an interesting link as well. Well, I think it's interesting. So we're just going to take the box out here and give you a little looky, and there we have it. You can see instantly why this has been nicknamed the UFO. So clearly a 70s inspired design, and that is really highlighted by that sort of big arrow second hand in that lovely sort of dark sort of orangey colour. So we have a fairly basic watch here, no frills. I quite like the dial. It's got a fairly busy minute track, but the actual dial itself is fairly plain with just a Seiko logo, automatic. And down the bottom you've got the cow reference. Quite a nice day-date complication there, framed with a chrome border around it. Looks really neat, tidy, really well done. Attention to the detail on this watch looks really good. Everything lines up. The battens are really nice. The battens do have lume on them, and it is Lumibright, as do the hands, but I'll do a lume shot later. But the lume is great on this, but there's just not as much on it like we're used to on things like the Monsters and some of the SKXs and models like that. But nonetheless, really good lume and actually quite classy looking. For me, the main feature of this is the second hand. I just love it. It really is a feature of this watch. And I was noticing it yesterday. I was riding the motorbike and I had my short summer gloves on, so you could just see the watch poking out from under the glove. And every now and again, as I glance down, you can see that orange second hand just sweeping past, and I think it looks really nice. It's actually quite a big watch, but it's really unusual because it's a lugless design, so it wears actually really small. So, and again, an odd looking profile because of the lugless design. Even if you put the lugs up, the bracelet up, it looks weird. Down, it just looks a bit weird. We've got a really sort of recessed crown there. So that really sort of harks back to those sort of watches of the 70s, and you know, that doesn't, you know, there's no way that's going to dig into your hand or anything, but it's still accessible. We have got a hand winding and hackable movement in this, and it's the 4R36, exactly the same as in the Monster over the back there. And when I'm talking about that, I'll just bring that in for a size comparison, because this is actually quite a large watch, but it wears tiny, and I mean tiny, and I'll put it on the wrist later and you'll see. It's fairly lightweight, but still with a good amount of weight, if you see what I mean. So it's nothing like as heavy as this, but you know, you definitely know you're wearing it. But it's a nice, lightweight, comfortable, everyday watch, in my opinion. So let's just carry on around the case. That's the other side. Again, you've got some nice brushing on top all around, and then you go to like a high polish on the sides and back. Okay, I'll just split the bracelet for you there so you can see the inside. So there you can see the Seiko movement. Water resistant 10 bar stainless steel, 4R36, 06F AO, anti-magnetic symbol. Yeah. Nothing spectacular, but a nice one. I've just noticed on the centre there, you can see the 5 ball bearings around the rotor, and I'm currently wearing I have done a video of this Eterna, whose logo is the 5 ball bearings, and they kind of made or invented the ETA movement. And there's the 5 ball bearings in a pentagon style there, and you can see them quite clearly in that movement there, in that pentagon arrangement. So that's quite interesting, because Seiko and Eterna actually started, I think, in 1881, around the same time. Obviously one's Japan, one's Swiss. Interesting. I think it's interesting. So there you can see the way the bracelet fits on in this sort of lugless design, but just in these recesses. I think that's really neat, and it makes for a really small wear on the wrist. Bracelet on this one is really nice quality. I've got no complaints about it. Just push pins. The clasp itself is usual sort of a kind of vintage style Seiko. I don't have a problem with these. They work really well. They look neat. They wear nice and thin. I've got no issues with that at all. Got Seiko on the brushed buckle there. Double pusher. Nice and secure. Nice lightweight. You know, absolutely fine. Actually works a treat. Okay, so there it is on the wrist, and as you can see, it is a big watch in the dial and that sort of cushion case design, the way it sweeps up. So it's got real good wrist presence, but it wears so small. Look how rounded and how far in the lugs are on my wrist. My wrist is just over 7 inches round, so just an average sort of medium to average sized wrist, I suppose. And it just wears tiny on the wrist, but again, it's just got that really nice wrist presence. Now they do this in a couple of different colours, and I think the colour to have was there was a limited edition, a kind of, I think it was like a vintagey teal blue colour, and that's definitely the one to get from a collecting point of view. But I actually quite liked the subtle design of the black one. I got this one for a reasonably good price. They're about new, they're about £210, which I think is good value. I'll put a link in the description to Amazon. You can still buy these, and I got this one second hand, but as you can see, it's in absolutely mint condition. I mean, there's not a mark on this, absolutely not a mark on this. The only odd thing about this when I bought it, I suspect the person didn't use the strap on it, because the strap was on the wrong way around. But other than that, I'm well happy with it. It's keeping good time. You'd expect that from a 4R36 movement. They're accurate, robust. So you've got the hacky and the hand winding. So, you know, a really nice movement choice in this. Again, you've got that lovely domed, only hard legs obviously, but you get the really nice distortions, and it plays well with the light, this one. So I think for a couple of £100, I think that's a really nice watch. It's a great one for the collection. I don't know if this is going to be a limited run. Obviously, it's part of their recraft series. So if you've got like the original ones, it's, you know, possibly a nice addition to have in a collection. But I really like it. And obviously, if one of the bluer ones comes up, I will be looking to get one of those as well to add to the collection, or replace this one maybe. I don't know. So thanks for watching. Watch the time. This is one of many videos. I've got lots of Seikos, obviously videos on the Monster over there, and lots of other. I've got about 50 to 60 videos in my back catalogue, and I'm pushing out new videos on a regular basis. So I really appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your comments, and I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.